Here is a quick video about equivalent fractions and adding them with unlike denominators. So we can see here that we have 1/3 and 3/4, and we need to add them together. First thing we need to look at is the denominator and realize that those are not common denominators. They're not the same size pieces of the whole. So we will not be able to add those straight out. We will need to find an equivalent fraction. So here's how we do that. First step is that we start listing multiples for each of our denominators. So for 1/3, we're going to look at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And then we're going to go to the fourths and see if we can find a common denominator. I usually stop after about 4 or 5 and then do the other list the other multiples and see where we can find a connection. So 4, 8, 12, 16. All right, next step. Do we have a common denominator? It looks like we have 12 that appears as a multiple of both. So that's the one that we are going to use. So the next step I have to use is on 3/4. How do I get my denominator from 4 to 12? Well, what I will need to do is multiply that by what we call the big 1, because if you have 3 pieces and you eat all 3 of them, then you have one whole pizza that you've eaten. So in that case, multiplying anything by the equivalent of 1, which is what 3/3 equals, will not change the value. It just changes into an equivalent fraction. So in this case, we multiply them straight across. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. So I have now renamed this fraction. So now it's time to go to 1/3. And I need to ask myself, how do I get from 3 to 12? Well, in that case, I need to multiply by 4. And I'm going to multiply by the equivalent of 1, which is 4/4. And I'm going to multiply straight across. So I have 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So I have renamed this as 4/12. So now I can do my problem. We'll do it in purple here. 4/12 plus 9/12. We never ever add the denominators or subtract them. So we have 12ths and we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 twelfths. 13 twelfths would be the addition of those two fractions. Now that also will be known as an improper fraction, which just means that the numerator on top is bigger than the denominator on bottom. That just means that it is bigger than 1. So if I took out 1 whole of this would be 12 twelfths plus 1 additional 12th. Now that 12 twelfths is equal to 1 whole, and we have 1/12 left over. And that is how we do equivalent fractions and adding with unlike denominators.